Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. I'm your host, Jacob Edens, and today we are going to be discussing one of my favorite topics of all time, out-of-body experiences. So, what turned me on to out-of-body experiences was watching the works of Darius J. Wright. And additionally, his cohort of individuals he's taught how to do OBEs. I was very impressed because it offered tangible evidence as to the dimensional structure of this realm. So I was like, what the fuck? Let's give it a shot, right? So the way I like to navigate things is I like to do things fresh. I like to set my intention and I just like to dive into them. So I didn't buy the course. I didn't understand the framework of how he does it or anything like that because I want to build that framework for myself. I want to be a unique, individualized perspective, looking at something and going into it just complete full force and seeing what happens. So that's my mentality when I try new stuff, right? So even when, you're looking at like something basic like law of attraction or law of assumption or these other different universal laws, if you have too much context from somebody else, you can set up these limiting beliefs where they've had this experience, so you have to do it this way, and you're like unconsciously looking out for pitfalls that they said that they had, which can be useful once you kind of achieve the thing to see kind of how to navigate it better. But I wanted to go in and just try it through my own will, okay? So I've had two minor ones so far. The craziest thing is that when you get out, right, you feel the actual magnetic force of your body sucking you back into it. So the first thing that I noticed was how insanely powerful that toroidal field is that glues your soul into your body, okay? So your body has a toroidal field around the heart, which is essentially, if you've ever seen like the Avengers movies, I think it's either Endgame or Infinity War. I think it's Infinity War, where the Hulk is fighting this like monk chick and she knocks him out of his body, right? So he's like in an astral form and his body's right there. That's what it's like, right? But your body is physical, right? And so what happens is partially when you go through this experience, you realize how dormant your consciousness is, how not awake you are in this reality, right? Because once you get out, you're in what's called a dimensional space, which is the byproduct of whatever your subconscious thought forms are, right? So if you think of like the difference between a dream and an out of body is a dream is a level of your consciousness being projected. Out of body is the full soul desyncing from the physical vehicle, okay? So you're fully out, you feel fucking alive. You're like, holy shit, dude. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is craziness, right? And the first event was essentially a dimensional space that was kind of like my house, but it was off, right? Like I walked outside, there was a completely different area. And the whole time I could feel the magnetic resonance of my body pulling me back into it. So I'm literally using my will to pull my soul forward and forward and forward and forward like a fucking army crawl. Like you're like getting sucked back into it. It's crazy shit. But once you get outside, right? I just remember being like aware, but still like in an amnesia type grog because you're moving around, you know that you're out, but you're like, holy shit, like this place is fucking nuts, right? Because everything that you think is instant, right? It's pulling in your thought forms and it's a much more malleable type of experience. So you go through that and essentially went to a place, a couple people were having a party, hung out at the party for a second. Super bright, by the way. The light is like fucking crazy. And then, boom, wake up back in the body. So that was the first one. Second one was even shorter. I literally come into the house again. I'm moving forward. Same instance of the magnetic resonance of the body pulling you back in. Okay. So once again, willpowering through, like moving through the kitchen. Okay. And as I'm going through the kitchen, I open the door, see a being, and I remember that the byproduct of the state of your consciousness is essentially vibratorily calibrating you to different experiences. So when you do this, you want to be in a state of unconditional love, right? Because if you're in unconditional love, there's not going to be scary shit there, right? It just isn't on the same vibe. It's like if you're on 95.1 and 95.2, right? You're on the better frequency. You're harmonically aligned to just good shit. So I remember that. And then I see this person, and it looks like a lady with a shopping cart walking by. And so instead of being afraid, I just go, hey, how you doing? And I get excited, and boom, I'm right back in. So those are the first two instances I've had. And from researching it, essentially what happens is when you first start doing this, you'll go into your own created dimensional spaces, right? Which are your thought forms physicalized in that external dimension. So as you go through this process, or at least as I'm talking to myself, as I go through this process, the real key is actually navigating how to stay out, right? How to get into the framework of the out-of-body experience and maintain, right? Because if you get too emotionally charged, that magnetic frequency gets stronger and will pull you back in. So as you go through this process, you're essentially learning how to decouple, fucking chill out. It's all good. It's all good. Not freak out, right? Because you're in it feels like a hyper real lucid dream. Like it's fucking crazy, dude. I'm telling you, the shit is next level. So when you're out, you're like, first off, you just have to process everything. You're like, this is an unbelievable situation, right? Like, what the fuck are we doing? First off, like, how did it come to this? Like, is this what we're doing with our time, right? You get over that, and then you get into it, and you have a little bit more stability. But I just wanted to give an update because it's something that I feel is very important to understand, right? Like, if you're a soul in a body, and you can desync from your body, and you can come back into your body, and you desync from your body, and you come back into your body, fucking eliminates all fear of death. Fear of death is non-existent anymore. It does not exist in the slightest because you're like, holy shit, physical on the other side as well too. So navigating these two realms and processing them is, in my perspective, one of the best ways to find out the ultimate truth of reality, etc. Okay. Second thing to mention as well, I was so fucking tired the next day. It was unbelievable. I felt like somebody put me in a washing machine. I was like, the entire day. I mean, it was unbelievable. The amount of fatigue I had from that first one was unbelievable, right? But as I drank a bunch of salt water, as I got more calibrated, things started to come back online. Good to go, baby. But essentially, the way that I did it was just with pure intention, right? So when I think fourth dimensionally. So if there's a goal that I want to achieve, I think as if I'm that person now. And then when I see external evidence popping up, I go, that's not a big deal. That's just a externalized byproduct of my old awareness, right? That's not reflective of who I'm being now. I'm doing a new thing now. So I'm aware of that new thing because I understand that mind over matter, mind creates reality. I think then I become, right? So as I got to this process of wanting to do this, I just started thinking, I'm a master at this. I know how to do this easily. I know how to do this easily. This is the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. This is the easiest thing. I can do this on command. This is easy, right? So just programming that over and over and over again. And as I program that, what do you know? I go to sleep that night and boom, having that experience. Boom, having that experience, right? So now that the base mechanics have been experienced on just a very simple level, understanding how to master that state, navigate it, reliably target things, and bring back information is the next echelon of that experience. But for anybody who wants to try it, I want to make it very clear. You can do this just by being the identity who knows how to do this, right? There's no special skill set. I would say give Darius J. Wright all of your money because he's a brilliant guy and he has a fucking badass business, right? Just on that merit. But like from the execution standpoint, your identity is everything, right? So if you just become the identity who can do this and you just persist in that and you understand the game of how reality is played, that reality just reflects your identity, and anything that doesn't align with that is just a byproduct of your old awareness, some shit that you've been fearing or whatever, you can overcome that hurdle really quickly. and you just bind yourself to the identity of, no, this is easy for me, I can do this is natural, and you just don't take any shit from any other type of counter viewpoints, right? You just really cauterize that identity. So a little bit of a different video, but I know you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to leave comments of future videos that you would like to see. Additionally, the link tree has all the coaching. If you'd like to do a protocol or you'd like to do some one-on-one coaching, you'll find all that stuff there. More important than any of that, you'll conquer. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.